dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. It was a soggy Labor Day across the mountains with several rounds of rain, and more rain is in the forecast. Let's head over to meteorologist Cameron Aaron with the latest. Cameron.
Yeah, Keaton, some good news tonight. That flood watch was actually just allowed to expire, so that flood watch is no longer on the table, but more rain is in the forecast on Tuesday. Here is a live look right now over at UVA-wise. Still looking at some cloud cover back in the distance. Current temperature is 66 degrees, that dew point of 64. So we are looking at some very muggy air across the mountains tonight. 72 in Manchester, 70 for Hazard, 71 in Pikeville, and 72 in London and also in Somerset tonight. And speaking of those dew points, lower 70s, so the air is very muggy as you step out the door tonight. Up on radar, good news, the showers have really come to a close across the mountains. We do still have a small shower over portions of Mingo County, but for most of us, we are dry and muggy at this hour. And like I mentioned, that flood watch is no longer on the board. It was allowed to expire momentarily ago. And tonight we are watching out for a few more showers across the area. Low temperatures, upper 60s. Also watching out for some patchy fog. And more showers are possible into Tuesday. I have that full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thank you, Cameron. FEMA is in their 5th week on the ground here in eastern Kentucky, assisting applicants after the deadly flooding. More than 700 federal employees are helping with appeals, temporary housing units, and even walking neighborhoods to reach people. Emily Bennett spoke with FEMA representatives today, urging people to apply as the deadline is just weeks away.
Since historic flooding hit eastern Kentucky nearly 6 weeks ago, some flood victims have struggled receiving assistance from FEMA.
Keep the faith. I think that's really important. Don't be discouraged.
Through the frustrations, FEMA Representative Patrick Boland says it's been a learning process for their crews as well.
We understand people's needs a little bit better and how important it is for us to do outreach to people.
FEMA usually calls applicants 3 times. If they don't answer, they don't go to inspect the home. But Boland says with the lack of cell phone service, that had to change.
But in this case, well, you could call 10 times, but with no cell coverage, nobody's going to pick up the phone. So we had to adapt to that.
Having 12 teams in 6 counties, walking neighborhoods, going door to door to reach people.
Yeah, we've had thousands of people come into the recovery centers, right? So yeah, it's really changed. People understand that process a little better.
Saying more than 2,000 claims, first classified as denials, have turned into eligible claims. And now they're working on temporary housing with travel trailers and manufactured homes.
So those trailers really kind of fill the interim need, but the state's working really hard on the housing problem, and we know how important that is for people.
With the deadline to apply for disaster assistance just weeks away, Boland is urging people to get an application in before September 28th.
People kind of don't sometimes, but they really should, even though they might not use it, right? But some people don't realize they have some eligibility.
Submitting it before it's too late. Emily Bennett, WSAZ News Channel 3.
The FEMA disaster period is 18 months, so Boland says they'll stay in eastern Kentucky for that amount of time or longer. If you have any questions about your application, you're encouraged to go talk with a representative at a recovery center. Hundreds of bridges were broken during last month's flash flooding, causing people across the region to be stranded in their homes. A group of people in Knott County were stranded in their homes for days after their main bridge broke. And Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says they are doing everything they can to build back quickly and safely.
We didn't plan this. We couldn't plan for it. And, you know, we're doing the very best of our ability, working with the state and local leaders in our eastern region, with the folks on the federal level, to get everything that we can to try to get restored as fast as possible.
Dobson says they've already started getting new permanent bridges approved, and the building process will begin very soon. Flood relief efforts continue across the region, with many people still living in temporary housing as they look for ways to move forward. In Letcher County, 5 families are camped out at Fish Pond Lake, some in RVs, a few in tents, all displaced by the weather that ravaged the region more than 1 month ago. Jimmy Burke lost his home to a mudslide.
I was laying in bed and I looked up and I just seen the ceiling start to crack. And I told her, I was like, we gotta leave because something's not right with the foundation.
The shelter workers at Fish Pond Lake are still accepting donations of food and cleaning supplies for those in need, but they currently do not need any clothing. An 11-year-old boy from Boone County is giving back to Eastern Kentucky. Owen Crawford visited our region shortly after the flood swept through. His mom contacted the librarian at Martha Jane Potter Elementary in Letcher County to see how he could help. Well, with efforts from his community, he was able to donate more than 500 books to the school.
For all of us to be able to look at him and see such a big heart, such a drive to want to help others.
We're told Owen has more plans in store to help his neighbors in Eastern Kentucky. He says he was happy to help other kids keep up their education. More than 7,600 Eastern Kentucky students still haven't returned to school. That includes 4 school districts and 2 Perry County elementary schools. A flood relief bill gives flood-affected schools more flexibility on attendance this year. Here in Perry County, Buckhorn and Robinson elementary students will go to school at A.B. Combs Elementary starting tomorrow. Knott County schools are set to start on the 19th, and Letcher County classes begin on September 21st. It's National Blood Donation Week. It's usually held the first week in September each year during National Preparedness Month. During the summer months, blood donation centers tend to see less people come and contribute. This has led to a severe blood shortage across the nation, and the Red Cross says every 2 seconds someone is in need of blood. In Kentucky, natural disasters like the recent flooding experienced in the mountains can make it harder for people to go out and donate blood. There are a few locations you can go to and donate this week. Pikeville, Corbin, Mount Vernon, Harlan, and Somerset all have blood donation centers you can go to and donate. 1 pint of blood can save up to 3 lives. Over in Boyd County, the Catlettsburg Labor Day Parade is a long-standing tradition in the community. This year's parade was extra special, though. It was memory of Corporal Jacob Moore this year. The Ashland native killed in a NATO military training in Norway earlier this year. Lucia Feinstein talked to Moore's family about honoring their fallen hero.
2022 Grand Marshal Jacob Moore and his family representative. Let's give him a big hand.
A special Labor Day for the Moore family as they led the parade with their fallen hero watching over them.
He would love it, but he was bashful. He's not an upfront person, but he'd love it.
Corporal Jacob Moore died in a NATO training in Norway earlier this year. The city of Catlettsburg felt it was only right to have his family be the Grand Marshal in this year's Labor Day parade. Moore's grandfather, Mike Steele, has been working on a special car for this in his honor.
There's no way I wouldn't have done it, man. And when I found out that let us be a Grand Marshal, I wanted to make sure I ordered everything, got everything planned ahead.
In just a week and a half's time, the car came together, combining the corporal's dedication to the Marines and his love of race cars he shared with his grandfather.
He helped me on the race car, so he went into service. When he was a little boy, he'd come to the garage and help me, and Papa, I want to do this, Papa, I want to do that.
The community showed up in full force despite the downpour of rain throughout the day.
It feels great, man. I was kind of sad. I thought, well, man, there's not going to be a lot of people and stuff here and stuff, but man, we come here and everybody here supported us at Catlettsburg. I love Catlettsburg. They're such a good city.
Lisa Feinstein, WSAZ News Channel 3, Catlettsburg.
The parade's theme this year was saluting America's armed forces yesterday, today, and tomorrow. One Tennessee town is gearing up for some fun in the next few weeks. The Triple Threat Festival weekend will be taking place in Cumberland Gap, Tennessee on September 24th. The first festival is an event which will have more than 30 vendors lining up from Cowlin and Lynn Avenues from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But the shops will actually remain open until 5 p.m. The second event is the Harvest Moon Festival. The event will also have artists and vendors with a wide range of product creations, food, and drinks. This event will also be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Finally, the third is the 5th annual Mountain Fiesta. The Fiesta will have live music, including several Grammy nominees from 2 international groups. That event goes from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.